What's up YouTube? This is Snapchat again with another step-by-step video tutorial on how to cartoon yourself. If you are new to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell beside it to be notified of my upcoming videos, because I'm very sure they will be very helpful to you. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, this tutorial is going to be focused on just the shading part, because I found out this is the part where people find the most challenging. So I'm going to put you through exactly how I pick my colors and then how I shade. So I'm hoping that at the end of this video you would have gotten a wider knowledge of how it's done. But before I start, I would like to give a general overview of what I've done so far. And I said I'll be focusing on just the shading part. So this is Rihanna, obviously, and so far I've drawn the outline. Then I created another layer to add details to the outline. Then the outline layer, I had to make a copy to add base color to the artwork, and then I went ahead to add details to the headgear, to the turtleneck, to the earrings, to the eye, and then finally to the lips. Now the next step is to try and add base color to the to the face, and then start the shading process. Now before you start shading, I would strongly suggest that you have your reference image. Your reference image you are using, you have it at a windows beside you. So it could be a windows on your screen, or possibly you have other screen you are making use of. But if you don't have any other external monitor, then you head over to File, click Open, then you look for where you have your reference image, and then you click it. So just bring down the Windows tab and adjust accordingly. So once you are done adjusting, you head over to your artwork, come over to your layer tab, then copy the outline, the first outline you drew, copy the outline, and drag it over to just right above the background image here. Click it open and select the whole line, head over to Object, Expand Appearance, then over to Pathfinder, and click merge. So that makes the whole line to be one, and it differentiates the the color coming from outside to the color coming from inside. So it's easy to add new colors using this. So the next thing I want to do now is pick my base color from the reference image I have here. And before you do that, I would like you to observe your image well, and just look at a portion of the image that you feel fits the base color well, fit the base color perfectly. This differs according to different images, so it's different for images, okay? But I feel this part is where I don't know, it's just your eye discretion. Actually, at this point, it's just you have to look at the image well. So I feel this is where the base color comes from, and once you are done picking that color, head over to this color. Then you copy this color you have here. You use Ctrl C on your keyboard. Once you are done copying, click OK. Then head over to your artwork. Come back to this color. Then you paste by clicking Ctrl V on your keyboard. Then head on to OK. And once you are done with that, you want to pick up your rectangle tool. Just drag it over your picture. Right click on, then head over to Arrange, Send to Back. And you want to select everything and head over back to the Pathfinder, click Merge. Once you are done merging, you want to head over to the die selection tool or the key A on your keyboard, and just click on the outer part and hit delete. Okay, now we want to delete from this other part also from the picture, because we don't want the base color to appear from those parts. So I'm going to delete. Now once you are done deleting, you can decide to adjust the base color if you like. It's not compulsory, but if you feel it's still a little bit off, you can decide to adjust it by picking the whole color, then head over to edit colors. And this is the base color, so you can either decide to increase a bit or you reduce a bit. Okay, so I think that's perfect. It's okay. Now once you are done editing the base color to your preference, the next thing is to try and start adding the colors. Now this is the way I shade. I tend to work on the darkest areas, also referred to as the shadow first, then I work my way back to the lighter part, and that's the highlight. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I pick up the base color. When you pick up the base color, create a new layer above the outline. Let me rename this as base color. So you create a new layer above this layer. Okay, this is the first. That's the first. Alright, once you are done creating that layer, head over to the color, and you want to try and go as diagonal as possible, but at this point you don't have to go too deep. We are making a transition from a particular color down to the darker part, so you don't have to go straight down. You can just make it a little. You can say I'm going diagonally, not straight down. Okay, so I think that should be okay for the first shadow. Next thing is to try and paint over parts that I feel are darker than this base color I have here. So in order to be able to see that from your artwork skin, you want to toggle the visibility of the base color and then toggle on the visibility of the background image. Okay, so I'm going to try and just paint over the part I feel is darker than the base color. So that's what I'll be doing over the next couple of minutes, and I would like to speed this process up a bit. So now I'm done with the first shadow layer, and to be very sincere with you, at this point you cannot be sure if you've got this layer right. Okay, you cannot be sure until you start adding new shadow layers. That is when you start seeing some errors you've probably overlooked at this point. So having said that, we need to go deeper than this, and in order to do that, first select the shadow layer and head over to the layer tab. Once again, create a new layer above the first shadow layer. Let me rename this as the second so that it will be quite easy to follow. Alright, so once you selected the color, head over to this color rectangle, and like I said in the first place, you have to go as diagonal as possible. Don't go too deep into the shadow, and click OK. At this point, I have to pick colors that are even deeper than this first color that I have drawn on the picture. Okay, toggle up the visibility of these two and leave the visibility of the background image. So I'm going to try and add color over layers that I feel are even darker than that first color that I picked. Well, I'm not doing this off art. I'm looking at my reference image while drawing on this, and these are part I feel are even still darker than the first color I picked up. So that's what I'll be doing for the next few minutes. So I would like to, speed up the video. Now, another tip to consider is whatever you do, just make sure you don't go out of your reference image. Try to follow your picture as much as possible. Now, since I'm done with the second shadow layer, all I have to do now is try and blend the colors better. And I do this by reducing the opacity of the same color after redrawing it over the space left between the two colors. And this is what I'm talking about. First thing you want to do is you want to pick the new shadow layer and, still looking at your reference image, try to draw on the spaces between the new shadow layer you just drawn and the first one, just to blend the colors better. And once you are done drawing, you can reduce the opacity of this new shadow you just drew by heading over to opacity. I use opacity of around 47 to 50 to blend. Okay, so you can just work around that opacity. Now you can see that the colors, the shadows are blended better than it was before. So I'll try to blend the other parts for the next couple of minutes. Now this is what the artwork looks like after this last round of blending, and as you can see, the artwork blends better than before. So this is the same principle I'll be following to even get to darker areas. So what I'll be doing is I'll be opening a new tab for new round of dark layer. After applying the color to places I feel are still darker, I try to blend using that opacity principle as well, not going outside my reference image, and that's what I'll be doing for the next couple of minutes. Since I'm done with every part I feel is the shadow part, the next thing to do now is to try and work my way back to the highlight. And before I do that, I need to get a smoother transition from the color I have here back to the lighter part. And in order to start doing that, you need to ensure the whole layer is locked, and then you head over to the layer above the base color, unlock it, and just pick a color from your image. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at part where I feel is in between what I believe to be my base color and then the first shadow I drew. Okay, I'm going to start drawing that now, and you can follow me and see the part I'm talking about. For you to be able to see the reference from the screen, ensure the whole layers are locked, and you toggle the visibility of the base color. Once you've done that, then the background image will still be shown on your artwork, so you can just apply those colors to where you want to apply them to. Okay, I think that's in between the base color and the other. So once you've drawn over, just reduce the opacity, like I've said before. Reduce the opacity to any opacity you feel is okay, in between 47% to 50%. Okay, so once you've done that, you can go ahead to apply the colors over other part you feel is in between the base color and the first shadow. So as you can see, these are examples of where I feel is the middle layer between the first shadow layer and the base color. So the next thing I'm going to do is add the same color over other parts that I feel has the same characteristics, and I'm going to reduce the opacity to an opacity between 47% to 50%. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Now, since we are done blending the base color together with let me say the lightest shadow, I don't know if you get that, but it's just the shadow that is lighter, you understand? That was what we did the last time. So the next thing is to try adding the lighter colors. Okay, and before you do that, the first thing you do is to create a new layer above the first shading layer you have here. So I'm creating a new layer above it, and once you have done doing that, the next thing is to start adding colors on areas that will feel is lighter than the base color. Okay, but before you do that, first pick your eyedropper tool and pick the base color. This is the base color. Okay, so you zoom your image to places you feel okay. I feel this is lighter in my reference image. I'm using my reference image for most of this thing. Okay, since you've created a new layer, you've picked the base color, just draw a bit above a portion of your image that you feel is lighter. Don't worry about the color. Once you've drawn, just go over to your selection tool, select the color you've drawn, head on to edit colors, color. Okay, once you get here, you don't have to change a lot here. Okay, and since we are making a transition to the lighter part, and you see this part is lighter than this part is lighter than this part. Okay, so you try to increase this a bit. You don't have to go too much at this point. Then you reduce this a bit as well. You click OK. So I'm going to be drawing on other parts that I feel are lighter than the base color I have. Okay. So that's what I'll be doing for the next couple of minutes. And at this Now, once you are done and you feel the colors are a little bit too light, you can still, pick everything, select everything, go back to edit, then to edit colors, color harmony, and you can reduce from there. Okay, so it suits, the kind of color you're looking for. You don't have to go too much for now. So just make sure it's a little bit different from what you have as a base color. Alright, so that's good. And then I'm going to use the same system of opacity, reduction in opacity, to try and blend the image better. Okay. For the next steps, what I did just now is the same thing I'll be doing. I'll pick the last color, draw on a part I feel is still lighter than the color I have, and then go ahead to edit color to increase the brightness a little bit, and start drawing on places I feel are lighter. Okay, so that's what I'll keep doing, just for you to understand what I'm doing.